season, they've struggled. But still a very good squad filled with good players. Just getting ready for both squads here to move out. Have that first rollout, first mid here on Busan.
And likely going to have a big disparity between the two teams and what they're running out on, where the era of mirrors is also over. Even if both teams are running DPS, you get different varieties. Now, WGS, they're going to be going with an old classic, Somber Goats, and Contenders Korea, one of the final places to see it. GC Busan Wave, meanwhile, going to the Kree May.
They're going to play a lot slower here for GC Busan Wave. Going to play around Edison, playing that McCree. Keep him alive. When they're running that Zen Batiste, they can shred those barriers. They can shred tanks very quickly. And they can have the peel for Edison with those with the May freezes, with the halts, and that immortality field. So they just need to play around Edison, play slow, own the point. That's GC Busan Wave's goal.
And protecting Edison definitely going to be the main crux here. WGS looking for a way in, diving on over. Gable Shiloh on the other side, gonna get D-Mexed. GC Busan just focusing the Diva, staying behind the shield. Good pressure coming out. Edison being protected. Edison getting dove.
The nades for Noah have been really good. They've been fantastic right here, but they just, regardless of that Daydream, he had far better immortality fields. He was able to keep Ritz alive. Edison comes in with that flashbang to keep everyone off that pressure, even when they were getting low, when they finished off that immortality field. So well played from Daydream and the rest of the GC Busan Wave crew there to keep everyone alive despite the huge antis for Noah.
So GC Busan gonna get first control of the point. WGS though, they don't walk away completely empty-handed. EMP potentially gonna be up in the middle of the next fight.
Ace will have the EMP. Nano's going to be up for Noah here as well. Once again, a lot of this onus here for the fight is going to be on Daydream. Since Fielder does not have that Transcendence up just yet, they will not have that ult. They will not have the defensive. It's going to be the well-placed immortality field to keep the team alive from this dive for WGS. It's about to come in.
Just looking for a way in right now. It's going to be a little bit till Sombra is set up. Still poking in Nord before EMP is ready, and we're going to see here GC Busan Wave just tanking through it. Edison still unleashed to work around the outskirts. It's May with 2.
The Light dropping the Blizzard ult there and just making sure to zone on the point. And WGS, they committed their EMP and they found several members. And they also got that early hack on a Daydream, making sure that they could not use Immortality Field. But they just didn't have the damage. They didn't find any of the frags they needed early. They didn't deal with Edison or Delight early enough. And Delight was able to drop that Blizzard, which is such a strong tool right now, especially once we get into that 2-2 lock, where May has become even stronger than it is currently, because you can peel for your team, you can zone with the Blizzard, and that's exactly what Delight did there as soon as the dive came out.
WGS gonna be looking for their final attempt to retake. Moving on over, gonna be up to Inocast here to get good disruption off the Primal Rage. Just taking their time on entering. Inocast can immediately move in, pop the Primal. Wall comes out and he just gets isolated. Dove in, completely executed by Edison. Now, Deadeye out, gonna be making a little bit of space. And oh, flanking Zarya. Edison in danger, gonna fall. Good move by Ace to move around to the outskirts, but it's not one yet for WGS. In fact, it's Delight once more on the cleanup for GC Busan Wave. Gonna drop the Blizzard, nicest one out. And
that's gonna be last fight here as well. GC Busan Wave just cleaning up the frags. Ace down, and despite what was a good engage, it was also Inocast going down so early. Sure, he needs to get disruption on the Primal, but you can't commit as Winston with that Primal into what GC Busan Wave are running. There are so many heroes that can isolate you with the wall, with the flashbang, with the hook, and just burn him so incredibly quickly. And there's no way he can finish any of those frags either because of all the healing. And that's exactly what happened. So they lost Inocast early. They were pretty much, the tip of the spear was then gone, blunted. And then they had to try to find any other frags in that post fight when they had no main tank to really make the space for them or get the zoning. And GC Busan Wave with the pick advantage, especially when there's nothing to stop them, no shields, no presence onto Edison, despite him going down, just means that they're slowly going to win that fight.
One thing we've been seeing that's really interesting too is that when teams are running more DPS-oriented comps, they're running them far more expertly than they did a season ago, because before a team did go DPS, it was sort of something that they didn't practice a whole lot, and the execution was sloppy. GC Busan Wave looked very, very good in dealing with the Sombra setup of WGS.
I mean, this is a squad that's clearly already seen what the meta is going to be like moving into playoffs, and they're playing something that's going to be strong then here as well, because it's strong not only currently in the non-2-2 lock, but also going into the playoffs. So it's a squad that's sort of future-proofing. As they move it here onto the high ground, they're going to look to isolate Inocast again if they can with the wall. It's looking like they're going to be doing that.
And it happens again. Inocast down immediately now. Delight ends up falling in turn. So not completely lost for WGS, and both teams trading out 1 for 1 for 1 here. WGS though, a little bit more point presence, but You know who loves being in a low number situation? It's McCree, and this is going to open up Edison to have some space here as GC Busan Wave looks to contest and not give up first control.
They've rotated back to the point. Nodecast there is going to be there as well. So for GC Busan Wave, they're looking to break shield. They have the Ant Matrix that can remove shield. They can try to get that early pick, try to isolate. But Gable shoot with the Nano is going to take down both Field and Edison, and that's going to be the fight and the flip for WGS.
And anytime you lose McCree early when you're running this sort of composition that's essentially built around supporting the McCree, well, it's going to be a lost fight. And GC Busan Wave also, they were a little bit split.
They were split because, I mean, Jungkook was still coming back from spawn. They still didn't have him there. Still going to be coming back from the spawn. He's very slow on the Orisa. And WGS with a good read there. Noah giving the Nano to Gable Shi, allowing him to zone that backline for free. Nano Diva versus Zen and McCree, those are free picks. Those are free picks, especially if Fielder does not have trance.
Once more against the ball, Inacast moving in, drops a shatter, knocks down 3! Big shatter in Inacast, and that's going to be more than enough for WGS to take the fight.
WGS are doing a great job right now of just being aggressive. They're playing 3-3, and the power of 3-3 is zone control and aggression, especially if you're walking into a comp like GC Busan Wave where they're slow, they have a lot of damage, but they can't do much to you once you get close because they don't have the peel, they don't have the armor pack for Brigitte or anything like that. So they're continuing to walk forward, walk past that shield for Jungkook, set up their ults. Ace still has this grab here as well, the fielder with the trance up.
Grabs on into base to start out the fight, Deadeye out, trying to cover, Edison gonna be sleeping in the back. Some wave just trying to get through. They rotate around. Ace gets caught. And despite the graviton, GC Busan Wave, they fight their way through, and it's going to be their first flip here of the round, most likely.
Ritz rotating here to the point. Going to be looking for hooks. Now getting the pressure, and this should be the fight for GC Busan Wave. Looks like that, though, they're going to commit the Nano. Noah giving that to Gable Shi. He's going to be down. It is a little bit of extra point time. There's a little bit of extra presence here for WGS, but definitely not an impactful ult by any means.
I think they really could have used that for the next fight. Just know when it's gone. And not only do they throw away the Nano, but they're feeding GC Busan Wave here. They're giving them a better spot to be in ult-wise for the next fight. On GC Busan Wave, I'm ecstatic over WGS going for that last second delay because either way, it was essentially one-fight territory.
That is true, though WGS now have secured the last fight with the cap that they have with that bank. And also something to note is that despite them feeding ults, sure, they stagger, they give ult charge GC Busan Wave, but GC Busan Wave aren't also running anything that's nearly as strong overall ult-wise as the 3-3 setup. They're running 2 DPS heroes along with the Batiste, so they don't have just fight finisher ults like a 3-3 setup would be. So they can be happy with that as you see the Ant Matrix, the Deadeye coming out, Edison trying to find anyone, but it's just going to be a zoning tool now, and both those ults gone off the clock. WGS don't have to worry about them. I
mean, zoning tool is essentially what Deadeye ends up being half the time to begin with, and you're absolutely right. There's a big disparity in ultimate power between the two teams. Ball gonna come out. This time, not gonna be sealing Inacast's Doom. Just keeps him up for a little bit, so plenty of zoning going on here, but Daydream down immediately. Inacast drops down, hits the shatter. WGS starting out a decent flip, but the Blizzard moving in from Delight, makes some space. Edison able to capitalize off that, and Delight with the well-paced Blizzard lets Busan continue to stay in the fight.
Once again, the Mei for Delight. So impactful into the squad. The Mei is sort of, that is their insurance policy in terms of stopping the aggression and also zoning the point when the Blizzard is up. Delight doing an excellent job so far, splitting the team, making sure that they did not get any value from the bomb either because they couldn't isolate anyone because they already lost members. The rest were split from the Blizzard. And now WGS, they used a lot of the ults to enter the point. It's last fight territory because if this fight's over and lost, if they lose this one, they are not coming back in. That is going to be the map. And GC Busan Wave, they have ults of their own. They have Deadeye. They're getting close to a whole hog, so they can even zone them off the point with the whole hog.
And Deadeye's one of those things where even if it ends up zoning half the time, it's still something you have to respect on entry. You can buy extra time, make it so there is no last minute recontest. So WGS can move forward. The Deadeye's out. They're looking for anything to break the shield. Edison, dropping the Deadeye, gets the D-Mech. That's super good value from that. Now can rotate around. The whole hog back their way. WGS rotates directly into the whole hog. It does not work out for them. And GC Busan Wave pushing back WGS. This is going to be map number 1 hangs them. And from the entire narrative of how WGS needed the 4-0, just have the chance of bringing it back, well, that's over here in map 1.
Well, we do have a Nano right on the point. Noah's still alive. He's going to take it out, but now Inocast is down. That will be their hopes gone. I was like, there was a chance. There was one chance. I saw the future. The 1 in 14 million timelines, but Inocast is down now. There is no hope for WGS. We're just staggering here. Ace is going to find 2, but it's just a slow and steady cleanup here for GC Busan Wave. That is going to be Busan going to them.
And I like one thing you brought up in the middle of that, the idea of mentality between the two teams, right? Where GC Busan Wave is clearly running compositions that you would want to run in a 2-2-2 world. WGS fighting for their very lives just to have the chance of a chance to get into playoffs. They don't have the luxury of worrying about practicing 2-2-2. They're trying to pull out all the stops to run something that can let them win now, and that's why you saw them come out here on the 3-3, and still not enough to bring them over the top.
I think the mentality is definitely a factor for GC Busan Wave running these compositions, but I also think that it's really still a strong comp. When you have a player like Edison and a player like a Delight as well that has a lot of flexibility, and they're on those DPS roles, and you're actually putting them on the DPS roles and playing those comps now, I think that they can get a lot of value there consistently, regardless if it's not perfectly meta here in the non-222 Contenders Korea world.
Well, the WGS season might be over, but we'll see if they have any tricks to show us on their way out. We'll be back in just a few minutes. And we are back where WGS season might be over in terms of getting to playoffs, but, you know, this is usually where we go to the storyline of, you know, they play for pride. Well, let's take a different tilt on it. They could also play for petty revenge, ruin GC Busan, take the series back, and put their playoff situation, even though they can't be eliminated from playoffs, just give them more seed. A parting gift.
Vengeance. They can definitely be very petty here. They can play spoiler to GC Busan Wave's season, or at least their seeding for playoffs. Not their season. They're not going to really ruin their season by any means, but in terms of messing up their seeding, though, it is very important because GC Busan, they're on that third seed right now, and they're trying to lock that in come playoff times. But the next match of the day, Mystic Runaway, they can very easily, if they just win their following games, could take that slot from GC Busan. So it's something here where if WGS get the win, if they bring it back, or even just map score wise, they could still ruin that seeding for them.
And then also going back to the age-old storyline, I mean, for the players, anything you can show that's good, you never know what's going to happen. Because, I mean, there's two things, right? A is that you can basically take it to the bank that Contenders Korea is going to get very heavily rated for the next Overwatch League season 2020. But also, beyond that, you got to think about it. The teams that get rated, well, they're going to need new players. You know what you want to do to get onto the next level top teams in Contenders Korea after all the poaching occurs? Play well now. Make a good impression. Go from there.
So I get into our second map. Currently, GC Busan Wave up 1-0 over WGS. WGS seasons is officially over. They cannot go into playoffs, but they can play petty. They can play very petty and ruin GC Busan in terms of their seedings.
Yeah, and it's sort of it's petty also in the sense where it's not like, but they could also knock GC Busan Wave out playoffs. Like, no, you don't have that ability either.
Just
but you
the
can,
seeding.
you can ding them in the seedings. The part where, you know, hey, could matter in terms of who you're up against in the first round, because, or it could help them. You never know who's going to be the strongest team when we go to 2-2-2. A lot's still up in the air.
So it is going to be WGS on this defense first. Running a very similar composition that we saw at GC Busan. We're running on Busan. We're running that Hog Orisa with the Mei, but this time they have a Hanzo and also an Ana, so not so much focused on the shield break. Rather a lot more on the picks, though still with plenty of shield break potential with the Hanzo, with the Hog. GC Busan moving in here. They are running that Zen, so they have a lot better shield presence here. Gable, she's getting caught very early.
And down immediately, and even the fielder getting caught by Ace on the other side. This is so much better for GC Busan Wave. Edison's going to have a lot of room to work with, and GC Busan Wave, they're just going to bring this to point. They have no reason not to do that, and WGS actually a bit slow on the rotation here, and that was a well-timed fortify.
Ace, he's here looking for the freeze, trying to get the pressure into main, but he's going to go down. While he's looking for the freeze there, he's hoping to get anything, and now GC Busan, they're free. They can move directly to point, even more free than before when they had that tank advantage. The picks going their way, every pick going their way, in fact. And now WGS have to stagger in.
Extremely one-sided here. It was one pick after the other. They were able to use the early pickoff to move over to point. WGS didn't get a good chance to rotate, and that's fast. It's decisive. They have 7 minutes to go from A to B.
The only breathing room that WGS have is that they're lucky that GC Busan isn't running Lucio, because they can't effectively snowball blazingly fast, but they can still snowball here, and that's sort of the price you pay for WGS on that defense, where not only do you lose the Hog early, which is so much of your shield presence and your pick potential, but you're running Ana, which means that you can't even get that extra damage that you need. You can't get any of that focus fire you need. You have to play slow, and GC Busan Wave are just going to take advantage of the fact that you have to play slow there and get first very quickly. They're already on point. They're dropping the Amp Matrix.
And you have to give the Amp Matrix respect. You cannot sit there and fight it directly in there, especially now with Edison behind it, so they use the Amp Matrix to get entry onto the point. However, Ace gonna win the Mei versus Mei battle. Busan Wave down one, but not before the Blizzard comes down. The Blizzard makes enough space. The whole hog there for GC Busan Wave, and that lets them get very good position. But Valentine, they'll start bringing it back. The aid of Overwatch. So it's not quite over yet, even with the tick being gone.
Yes, and now investing in the Dragon Strike, gonna find Noah as well. They can't get the point though, and both Blizzards were so impactful for both squads. You're seeing the value of Mei here, even in the non-2 lock, in terms of what Blizzard can do for you on the point and remove picks when there's no defensive ults. But at the end of the day, you must stop point. You must stop point, and because of all those early opening picks for GC Busan, they had complete control of it. There was no one alive for WGS to even contest. You see right now in this opening fight, where after this Amp Matrix is getting zoned by the Dragon Strike, it's that Delight. Sure, Delight loses the Mei battle to Ace, but he just throws out that Blizzard and opens up the point right here.
So, GC Busan Wave speed running here on Anubis. A very quick attack out for them. Now we can see what they have on their defense on the way out. But just been rough for WGS, where, again, the deck was stacked against them coming into the day, where when you've put yourself in a spot that you need to end the season with 2 4-0s just to have a mere chance of staying alive, well, you're probably not good enough to even accomplish half of that at that point, because you wouldn't be in that situation if you were. But at this point, it's just a matter of, can they look competitive versus GC Busan Wave? And so far, the answer has been not really.
Yes, they have not seen success so far. We are obviously... The series is not by no means done, but looking at this offensive time bank for GC Busan Wave, I mean, a little shy of 6 minutes, and that was achieved without a Lucio. I think people underestimate just how slowly Overwatch can move occasionally when there's no Lucio on the field. And the fact that GC Busan Wave were able to get a little under 6 minutes for Anubis second without running Lucio, without having the mega snowball, rather just waddling their way to point, is kind of incredible. Also off of the back of the lights and Blizzard down. So WGS, they're going to get Noah on the Zen here as well. They're going to play a little bit more of a shield break comp. Hope to not trade any picks on the entry, because if they trade anyone here on the entry, they're going to have to reset. But Delight down already.
Already 2 big pickoffs, and WGS, if nothing else, probably not going to get first held here. This is a really good start, but now we'll see if they can finish up on it. GC Busan Wave going to have to pull themselves out of a hole, and okay, I don't think it's possible at this point. All the ladders have been destroyed. There's no getting out of it, and it's going to be an even quicker first point take here from WGS.
And I have to say, that's just something that can't happen for defense. That's something that can't happen, especially when you know Hog Orisa is for both sides. Well, really, the most important part is making sure you're not in position to get halt hooked, that you don't lose anyone early, either play around the shield, but not only did they lose someone, the GC Busan lose someone early to spam to some of that long-range fire, but they also got halt hooked twice when there was still potential for them to maybe hold on to the point, get some time off the clock. They didn't play in a spot where they couldn't realistically deny the value for halt hook. They were never playing safe. They were playing a little bit too aggro still. And now WGS can move here into the point. Gonna take this right side flank. Gonna move over here, get the point pressure that they need.
In terms of key swaps here, Edison has gone over to McCree, and also in terms of differences between the rounds, neither May close to Blizzard because the first fight was over even quicker. Supercharger can be down early for GC Busan Wave. Charger, reverse window on the outside. Edison is looking for a pickoff. Gable C already down. And this is pretty good for the defense. GC Busan Wave here. Deal with the hog early. Not one here just yet. Hook coming out. For May, unable to finish. But Ace falling to smoke thereafter. Still gets the Blizzard off though, and it's winnable. Here for WGS, the Blizzard has done enough. A parting gift.
Valentine has done so much as well. In addition, I mean, you want to talk about a parting gift as that Valentine, it is very much a good position for him. WGS, they own the floor right now. They just need to make sure that Noah stays alive from this aggression, but they do not keep up the Doomfist.
Emergency Doomfist. They pulled the emergency Doomfist love for it works. Noah out of the fight. Respawn starting to come in here for GC Busan Wave. They built up a Blizzard. And WGS, even though they have 2 ticks and have to give up a little bit of pressure on the point, Delight in a much better spot, buying time for respawns to come on out, and even as the picks continue to come in for WGS, it's not decisive. Now the Blizzard's been used, they no longer have that feather in their cap, so there's gonna be another round of really good pressure on the way.
Edison is back on the Doom here as well, and then really they're going to try to hope to find Noah again. They really want to find Noah or Ace or someone in the back line when they're playing this composition, but Edison's down already. Valentine finds him. There's no immortality hold either. Fielder down, and GC Busan, they're in a position where they have to just stop the point.
And now it's going to be a mixture here of delaying while hoping for miracle pickoffs of Valentine in a really good spot. You got to drop the dragon, seal it off, and finish it off. Really nice from Valentine at the very end. And WGS setting a pretty quick time of their own.
That's a good offense for WGS. That's a good offense. That's really, sure, a little bit slower, but still very much in terms of parity, quite equitable. I think that is, when you're about 5 minutes on that clock, you're still a lot of time bank left. And Valentine just being such a difference maker there, I've sort of held this opinion in the past, but Hanzo currently has just so much damage, so much pick potential comparatively to a lot of the other DPS heroes on the roster, that when you put him in the hands of someone like Valentine, you can almost single-handedly carry fights as long as you're hitting your shots.
Well, I think the key thing for Hanzo, right, is that you're getting probably about 70% of the pick power that a Widow would have in terms of raw ability to hit heads and go through the fight. But unlike Widow, you have the ability to burst down shields when necessary. You can help win the war between Orisas, and that's incredibly important. And also, just a little bit better at skirmishing up close.
Just so much utility, so much value that Hanzo can bring in terms of burning down tanks, burning down shields, getting picks, zoning points and entries with the Dragon Strike, all on top of having a lot of mobility. So WGS is going to be on the defense here first there again because, or rather GC Busan Wave is going to be on the defense here first because they do have that larger time bank. WGS is going to be the one attacking. Playing a very similar composition, both these squads with the mirror. Just have to watch for the halt hooks.
Halt hooks can tell the tale. Halt is out, and the wall, really nicely timed in response to the halt. On the way out, Ace gonna fall in response. And that's what you have to do when running the Mei and Orisa via Orisa situations. But the hook comes in, and ooh, they get Edison, and that's one of the best pickoffs you can get.
But a counter pick there. Overwatch getting caught there. The halt hooks for both squads just continually just working out, finding just one after another. But if defense continue to trade more, if they get more picks there, the WGS have to wait. They have to wait for those respawners to get back in. So they are a lot closer.
Well-timed wall gonna block the halt hook, and it is the battle right now between the Orisa Hog versus Orisa Hog, and it's very much in favor of the Orisa and Hogs versus anyone else for halt hooks. So that time, bringing Hog, he's gonna take a breather.
But the lights walls have been fantastic.
It's been really good. Edison, though, got caught. The Hanzo be Hanzo, so man advantage here. A hook in, and the Orisa is down. WGS well on their way to getting point A here. GC Busan Wave. We'll see how long they can delay, but probably not going to be for long.
The halt hook synergy between InnoCast and GableShi here on first has been insane. I think they hit almost 75% of those halt hook combos there in that first. They just continually found one. They continually put them in angles where GC Busan Wave wasn't expecting the halt to be going. They were set up for a halt to come a different way, and they weren't expecting to just go underneath the bridge, pull them off that angle. And that's going to be first going the way of WGS.
Now we'll see if they're going to get any form momentum going to point B. It's unlikely, given that GC Busan Wave is in a pretty good ult position themselves, but the first fight as they move on in. And left side has been the name of the game for both teams.
When you're playing Mei, Orisa Hog, going the left means that not only can you enter a lot more smoothly because of the walls and be using your shields, but also you're able to pressure the point more effectively here because you can look to get in, wall a tank close to the choke, maybe look for the freeze in the isolation. You also limit the amount of spam you can take from the Han zone from the Xin.
They're going to drop the wall early to get entry, but going to be in response. The amplification matrix on the other side. Mortality field down, mortality field immediately dispatched. Meanwhile, Dragon Strike from the side, and Valentine, the sneaky Dragon Strike gets two! GC Busan Wave not expecting the split there. However, Edison firing back on his own, and the fight not at all won here just yet.
Right now, WGS are still pressuring. They're going to find another pick with that hook onto Daydream, but they're going to have to deal with the spawns. They need to deal with the spawns here of GC Busan.
And the spawns doing enough. GableShi going to fall. GC Busan Wave fighting their way back into point. They gave up 33%, but no more. Speaking of emergency Doomfist, the rare offensive emergency Doomfist in from Valentine.
This has to be the reset for WGS now. They weren't finding the picks they needed. Edison comes back, gets the disruption. I really, or rather Delight, not Edison. Doomfist is such a great hero into this composition as well for recontests like that because a lot of times Immortality Field cannot save your Xin, especially since Xin is the favored backline dive target for the Doomfist, because you just punch them out. You move them physically out of the radius.
Yeah, even if the punch has sealed your fate gets sealed outside the Immortality Field, and that's the point. Also, though, I have to say, Dragon Strike from Valentine there, very sneaky. Just not being with the rest of his team, drops it from the outside flank, and it did a lot of work.
See, now WGS looking to enter here from the flank once again. They will have double support ult available. They will have that Amp Matrix earlier than Daydream as well, so they can look to just use the Amp Matrix early, break the shield, and be very aggressive there. But GC Busan Wave looking for the Hall Dragon potentially.
Dragon dropped early, and Delight going to be finishing what the Dragon starts. A little bit aid from Orisa, and already WGS going to be back to the drawing board here, and they don't have much time to draw. It's about 1:25 left on the clock, and the way Anubis is, that's really only enough time for one good attempt.
The way that these staggers are coming, they are definitely going to have one good attempt left. That was the Amp Matrix used for Oporochi now, so they won't have that in the bank. So going to have to enter into Daydream. Daydream, he's just going to drop this Amp Matrix early. Ideally for GC Busan Wave, they're going to look to force trance. They want to break the shield, force the trance, and then just play the post fight, because then they have that trance advantage. They're going to have Halt Dragon soon afterwards. The Maze are going to be the crucial component here. Is that can they block this with the damage? Can they get the split? Will they have Blizzard in time to get the zone on point?
43 seconds left for WGS as they look for the approach. Walls in their way. As you mentioned, Ace looking to build the Blizzard just to set the tone to this. The problem is they're going to be going to Blizzard from Delight on the other end. Application Matrix out. Blizzard out early from GC Busan Wave. Going to be freezing two in the back. Transcenso letting them survive. Valentine getting good damage on the other end. And GC Busan Wave in danger here. WGS, though, they lose Valentine on the other end. It's going to be up to GableShi to continue to hold it down here. As GC Busan Wave, they have to move towards more of a delay.
They're going almost full delay now because they have Junggu now onto the Hammond. I doubt they're going to keep the light on the Mei here, but he still has that good potential. Builder finding Noah. WGS, they need to finish these frags quickly. They need to play around this Amp Matrix and finish everyone as soon as possible, because now they're worried into the stagger potential. But I think that's going to be it. That is going to be the point. As Ritz finds 3, 4, and then actually that is finds 4.
Yeah, just a whole hog outside, pushing them all the way at the very end. And I mean, it was enough delay for GC Busan Wave, and that's a tricky part about Anubis, where even when you have a good opening, if it's not decisive enough, that can quickly turn against you. And now the victory condition for GC Busan, pretty clear. Just finish out the map one more time, and their first attack was pretty quick, so there's reason to believe they'll be able to do it again.
WGS, though, they did put themselves in a position where they can win this map now with 50% on that last point. Ace doing an excellent job there, despite WGS not actually finishing the point, finishing the cap there. he gets the Blizzard. He gets the zone that they need. And even while that Transcendence comes out, he's able to find those frags before I really split the rest of GC Busan. So Ace and Valentine continuing to be very big playmakers for WGS, and they need to be bigger. They need to be Rao for this. Their goal should be what we've seen both teams struggle very hard with is not losing people to halt hook combo. Playing positions where making sure that your Orisa is the one that's going to get caught. They can just fortify out of it.
I think the issue is that's a really difficult combo to avoid. Halt has a gigantic radius, and if you get clipped by it, it doesn't matter who gets clipped. A Roadhog will hook in anyone that's up over there. So essentially, the Halt has to either not hit anyone, or you have to have a good wall to save people, because otherwise, they're heading over from the hook. Basically guaranteed.
That's why it's affectionately known as the mini grab. And then when the mini grab set up with the Halt hook combo, means that it's just a mystery box for Roadhog. He can just reach his hand in and just be like, oh, what do I have here today? It's this in.
Well, now we go back to the Halt hook game between both teams. Right there, ball again blocks the hook, and it's just a matter of how many Halt hooks can you block while hitting some of your own. And so far, WGS winning the first barrage between the two teams. Jonggu gonna fall, and just a bit of a time loss there for GC Busan Wave.
I think I'm gonna start referring to the Mei stopping the Halt hook as the seatbelt. They need to buckle in their seatbelt to sort of stop the whiplash there, because Ace doing a much better job of making sure to put these walls in a position where they can stop Halt hook between Jonggu and Ritz. And Delight just wasn't able to stop that one in time. He'd used it a little bit earlier. If they can bait out the Mei wall early, if you put that Mei wall before the Halt hook comes out, they're in a much better position there to find one of those combos.
Well, next volley of Halt hook about to be underway. And WGS trying to position around it as spread as possible here. There's a Halt of their own. There's the hook, and down goes Jonggu again.
And once again, no Mei wall for Delight. No Mei wall for Delight. Though I think also part of the reason that it is a little bit difficult for Delight here is that you are on the low ground. The angle is still in favor of the Orisa Hog on the high ground, but they really need to be utilizing these walls to break these Halt hooks. That's sort of the value of the Mei in this competition, is that not only does it allow you to zone the point, does allow you to isolate and split people, but you can stop the Halt hooks.
It also lets you secure after you hook someone in if you're using your wall later, but walls are exchanged and amplification matrix out from WGS. Again, both teams are firing up poke. Halts are out, and once more, Valentine there with the finish. And Hanzo kind of the X factor here, where it's the battle of Orisa Hog, and then what is Hanzo going to do while this is going about? And Valentine right now in a good spot. Edison going to fall, and once more, GC Busan Wave going to get repelled.
And look at these ults being built up here again for WGS. They're doing a much better job of isolating targets to the Halt hook, breaking the opposing team's Halt hook, and Valentine is just playing these flanks. He's playing the angles because GC Busan Wave are so pressured that they can't really stop Valentine from roaming about and playing the off angles, playing around the shield for Jonggu.
And the real big problem here for GC Busan Wave, more than anything else, is that you look at the Halt hook combo and which team has been getting more success. It's been a tough round so far for GC Busan Wave. Meanwhile, for WGS, yeah, they're in a better position, but they've been making really good use of it.
Now there's going to be no Halt there, and with the Halt gone, this should be GC Busan's time to come forward. They need to move. They're just going to wait out the supercharger, though. I guess they're waiting for it to come down here a little bit. The wall is out for Ace, so nothing to stop. But then you see once again Delight. He puts the wall there, but now nothing to stop Halt hook. It's going to be coming out very soon.
Dragon from the flank. GC Busan Wave trying to get sneaky on the WGS. WGS just not phased at all. Immortality field and firing back all the same. And again, for GC Busan Wave, it's been a little bit weird. Just it not only slightly uncoordinated as a move in, but also when they have had decent openings, they just haven't been able to get any success. So I think it's like combination, just poor coordination on one hand, and also a bit of poor luck.
So they've swapped Edison here onto the McCree for GC Busan, which honestly really doesn't have better shield break value than the Hanzo. The Hanzo gives a lot more, especially with the Halt Dragon. And already Jonggu getting caught, getting hook halted again. Something that cannot happen to your Orisa of all characters as well, because you need to have that Fortify available.
Well, he said it's Roadhog mystery box as he goes in and grabs it, but I gotta tell you, it's pretty heavily front-loaded towards Orisa with how this has been happening. And the problem is, I'm not even sure that should be happening, because if you time it well, you can save your Fortify as Orisa if you get pulled in.
You should, I mean, the reality for this combination is that the two cooldowns you need to always be having, especially for the entry for GC Busan Wave, is the Fortify and the Mei Wall. You need to be having there to break the Halt hooks, and so far they haven't really found They haven't been using them in the proper time. They've been using them early. Now, though, the halt is down. You see that they've moved over to the point. GC Busan, they have Edison there pressuring them, and the rest of them are going to come in.
So they're able to get through to a point, and that part useful, but the Blizzard freezing everyone out here early on. However, the fall through, not necessarily there for WGS. Now they're going to use Supercharger and Dragon, looking for a way back in. Edison, though, unfazed, gets Inocast down before falling to the Dragon on the other side. Able to see the whole hog, rips with the whole hog of his own, but Valentine, far better cleanup. And honestly, GC Busan Wave just a little bit too wounded in the end.
Valentine just plain, it's just the value of the Hanzo. They have Edison go to the point. I'd agree, sure, you bring the rest of the team back, you force them to rotate a little bit. They even get the halt Blizzard there. They survive the Blizzard early from Ace. They get the halt Blizzard for Delight, but they couldn't clean up that fight. They couldn't clean up post-fight because Valentine just does so much damage. He controls the high ground of Hanzo. Now GC Busan Wave has swapped entirely. They've gone more of a dive setup. There's 40 seconds left. We're in last fight territory. They're just trying anything
at this point. They just say, okay, it's not working. We switch. We're not entirely sure what, but hopefully this works.
And it's
However,
not. The answer is
no, it's not. It's no. This is a textbook desperation swap coming up from GC Busan Wave.
They get Ace though.
Yeah.
I think this is actually the opening pick. They actually throw the Hail Mary and it lands very close to the end zone. ZP. This could
the
very
refs
well
are
be
reviewing the
the
call
opening.
right now as to whether or not it's successful. We're about to find out.
GC Busan Wave, they need to re-enter here fast. This is last fight for them. They're relatively close to the blade already, but Rit getting D-Mech. They have to walk into Dragon. They have to walk into bye-bye Valentine.
It's a really big pick. He got caught mid-Dragon. Fielder giving an opportunity. GC Busan Wave still incredibly damaged here. And it's going to be up to Edison. Edison getting the blade, builds up the blade, now moves in. Noah already down. We get a little bit more looking for it. Low HP down, but not before getting Inocast. GC Busan Wave trying to get back in. WGS is saying, please get off our point. End this map here and now. And Ace with some serious cleanup on the backside. However, GC Busan Wave, they got Transcendence. Respawn's getting back over to the point. Valentine's going to fall, and they're going to give themselves 30 seconds for point B.
Delight made such a huge shield bash there, making sure to keep Fielder alive, keep him in this. And even if he goes down, he's done his job. He's fulfilled his purpose of keeping Fielder alive. Now they should make sure they stays alive through the rest of this fight, and that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to get the flip, and they're going to get staggers here. We're looking at a GC Busan Wave snowball. Ace EMP is available, but there are
and an actual ball. Jongu just immediately rolls on in. They might get a tick just about for free here. Valentine, emergency Doomfist. EMP striking from Ace, but it's a little bit premature. Valentine ends up falling. GC Busan Wave, they get bionated. They're in a slightly tough spot, but they get a chance to heal on up. They're going to have a full 6-on-5, and WGS now in real danger as the beat comes in.
With the beat invested now, GC Busan Wave can be very aggressive here on the point. There's no ult to deal with for WGS. You see Edison trying to zone the backline as Valentine, but Valentine's down, so the light.
And the cleanup just keeps coming on in. WGS, you were so close, but now so far. GC Busan Wave able to bring things back. They take Anubis after all. It's 2-0 here at the half.
And sometimes you throw, it's despite them not throwing out not buckling in their seatbelt at all. There was at no point did they buckle their seatbelt there for the entry for that Hog Orisa Halt combo for GC Busan Wave. At the end, they sailed through the windshield, put Edison onto Genji, and he managed to get the one pick that mattered, getting Ace off the Mei, and allowing them to just go a wholesale dive and make it into the point.
And that was a gritty Genji performance too, where he built the final 20% of the ult up super quickly, moves in at the blade, and was it the flashy blade that takes down an entire team? No. Was it good enough? Yes, it was. And with that, we are going to be taking a break heading into the half. We'll see if WGS can continue to make some waves here and now.